we have Sanchari today. She is a talent acquisition specialist. She was VP in the previous organizations. She have worked with multiple startups, product-based companies, FANG, and she has a vast experience. We are glad, Sanchari, that you are over here. Like, would you mind talking about your career and your journey till now?
Thank you so much, Chirag. I think that was, I mean, I'm just very grateful for the introduction. Yes, I have worked, as a VP HR in my previous companies. I have, worked with a couple of companies. I would not say great, but yes, I had slight experience in this field. So to an extent, I do have knowledge. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here.
One should basically look for if a person is serving like 90 days notice period. So what are the companies which are going to basically help and will ease the process of like which they are okay, sort of like I will wait for 90 days. It's okay, man. So.
Right. Okay. So one thing that I would like to start, for this question, I think, first of all, sometimes candidates do get demotivated, right? They feel that, they are getting rejected by the companies. The reason is the reasons that were given are 90 days, right? So as I mentioned starting of this discussion, right, that not every time we have to act strategically, right? And also not every time we are fit for a company, right? I mean, it's not that we are not fit, it is that for that point of time it is not matching. Right, this is not the requirement is. The company is not looking for you. Company, maybe not now, next time, maybe after a month, for the next requirement I could be a fit, right? So
maybe
first
different
of all,
team, maybe as you
different
said,
team. Yeah. Correct, different team, different skill where they are actually looking
Correct.
for you. They are not aware of it. Maybe not that team is not that hiring team is looking for you. The other team is looking for you, right? You have applied for the wrong team or the wrong skill or the wrong company, right? So first of all, before applying, you have to prepare for your interviews very, very well, right? Research well about the competitors, companies in the same domain who have a similar product and services, right? First. Second, once you're prepared, and you have researched well about the companies that you would like to apply for, and the roles, only then you start applying for jobs, right? Only apply for targeted companies. I would not say, sometimes it happens, right? When we look for jobs, we just open LinkedIn or we open Naukri or we just and tap, we just start applying for jobs, apply, right? So you don't do that. Target companies, reach out to people, right? There are messages, reach out to recruiters, reach out to hiring managers. Even you can reach out to senior employees, right? Like something technical leads for a team. So you can start doing that. Targeted companies, of course, right? Where there is a desperate need. And secondly, always try to make sure that you are outstanding in the crowd, right? I mean, you are, how do I say it? So this is something you have to make sure that if they're looking at resumes, yes, right. If they're looking at a lot of resumes, you stand out. Yeah, right. So something we need to do. We have to understand it's a very competitive market, and we need to do something. We need to have a skill where you can stand out. So that is there. And again, yes, if your skill is niche and if you're from a similar background that the employer is looking for, I have personally hired people, again, not every time I had a good experience, but I have personally hired many people who had 3 months notice period. And trust me that in that cases, even if I don't want to do it, the skills are something that we couldn't ignore. Right, so we had to hire because we were not getting anybody with that experience, that good person, right? So that is that. And secondly, always make sure that share this, that this is a negotiable, right? So that's why I said while you're joining, make sure that your notice period is negotiable.
Got it. So I think a few points that you have said is like, if you have the same domain knowledge, strong domain knowledge, and second is a tech knowledge, that these two combos something which will actually force our employer, your new employer, to basically wait, dude, I'm the best combo. And even if you have to wait for 90 days, it is going to be worth for you. So basically,
Right.
I can relate it very well, and that make more sense. And the second point which you highlighted is like, if you like leave the mark on the interviewers, like when they are going into the debrief, having some discussion, and they discuss about, dude, that person is really awesome, right? And people are convinced that if this person joins the team, it is going to benefit the entire team in terms of the growth and futuristic. Then as you said, like 90 days may not be a much problem. And I think one thing which I have personally seen, apart from, yes, your competitor, similar kind of domain, such big product-based companies are somewhere, even the fan companies are somewhere, they are okay to wait because they have their lot of, you can say, process altogether. Like in process, they
True.
have background verification. Sometimes they take like from 30 days to 45 days. And
Oh
they are
my God.
okay. They are sometimes okay to wait 90 days because end of the
True,
day,
true.
you don't join, right? It's okay for them because they have huge pipeline for the candidates as well.
Candidates.
So
True.
what do
So
you
even
think?
in my experience,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. So even in my experience, in one of the company I have worked initially, that was an MNC. So they started my interview. Say, I'm just giving an example in July. I think that was in July. No, I think June end,
Okay.
and I received the offer in September. Yeah, September. So they took almost from, so again, because they have a very, set process, right? And they have I think they had somewhere around 6 to 7 rounds. So,
Got it.
these many rounds actually takes time, right? And for them, they were like, you're joining, fine. If you're not joining, there is a pipeline of candidates, right? So they would not say that, but it's typically that's the situation is. Only in startups or in a mid-sized companies, they are like very I would say careful, because they have a very strict deadline. They have to make sure they cannot actually, they do not have that affordability. I mean, they cannot afford, right? So yeah, that's the
As you said,
situation.
they can't overhire. Overhiring can't do. They can't take a compromise. Like we can restart the hiring if the candidate doesn't join after 2 months or
True,
3 months, right? I think
true,
that's
very
a
true,
fair point.
very true.
Okay, I think this is one of the most of the popular question and popular thing that comes to everyone minds. Like if I have like 3 months notice period, should I like leave the company and then start looking for a job? Like I quit and then start searching. What's your thought process?
Okay. If you ask me personally, I would always suggest, or I would say, anybody. I think that there had been a couple of people, right? Couple of in my network, my friends who have always asked that, Sanchari, do you think this is something we should do? I have always told them not to do that, because the stress after you leave a job is a different level of stress.
Correct.
Unless, again, situations, right? Unless there is a situation where you cannot actually, do both the things at the same time, right? So again, in this case, what I would say is, it is not a great idea to to leave and look for new job, unless there are a couple of reasons, like maybe you're in a toxic environment, you are overworked, and you do not have time at all to find a new job. That happens. This is something, these are all I've seen, right? That could be a reason. Or maybe you have a situation where you cannot actually um work on both the things, right? Balancing both becomes an issue. And third is, you have enough finance that even if you leave, the typically a job of your choice takes, sometimes it takes even a year. So if you have that finance for at least 8 to 12 months, and you're confident that yes, I can support myself, only then take that step. Otherwise, I would always say, try, work strategically, look for companies, research, work on your skills, try to stand out from the crowd, reach out to your reference. I mean, you have a network, right? We have to work on your network, reach out to your network, do all these tips, and then you leave your job, and then you switch your jobs.
Very fair points. Like until unless that is a worst scenario you can't handle because of your mental pressure or anything, like it is not letting
Right.
work, right? Until this, you should have something as an backup and then only leave. That is the best thing. I think that's a great advice. Right? Now, the final and the most important thing. What's your advice if someone is getting like offer letter of 90 days or some bond, right? Especially the freshers get this. So should
Right.
shall the candidate or the student join such companies or not?
Okay. Right. So for this question, I see myself as a fresher. Okay. So this is a very, I think, emotional question, I would not say, but yeah, this is something which we can somewhere relate because we all have been in that state, right? Where somebody, every one of us has have started, right? Somewhere. So, bond is something I was not at all in favor of since the start, right? Since day one of my career, because there is a thing, right? You feel like a jail. I mean, for you, to you, it's typically that's how the psychological thing is. If somebody tells you that, hey, don't do that, you want to do that, right? I mean, that is how the typically the psychology is. So I don't know, employers, this was the market, maybe couple of years back. There were companies who used to follow this. Most of the companies have actually removed this, having bonds. I personally myself had received an offer with bond, which I did not take up. And you would not believe that was not in my, that was something. So I was actually from different background, right? So for that, that was related to that. So yeah, I mean, my advice would be, uh, see, as a fresher, we apply on a lot of jobs, right? We freshers are something the companies are actually focusing on, right?
Yeah.
So even in for freshers also, what I would say is, unless and until you think that you will not be getting any other offer, uh, do not try to avoid. Because the problem is when you leave if you want to leave before 3 years. It has happened with one of my friend, right? So she was a very very good, I would say, candidate. She was a very good, in terms of her skills, and she worked, I would not name the company, but it is in the services background, right? The company is in the services, and they actually made her to sign three years bond.
Okay.
Everybody who were placed from her college. Okay. So this is actually kind of an agreement between colleges and companies. That does happen. So she was kind of stuck up within this 3 years, and always she used to be like, hey, I am just laid back. I feel like my friends are going, climbing that ladders. I could see that they are going ahead than me in terms of my compensation. Of course, in that period of time when we start, for us, compensation is very important.
Correct.
So that is when what she did was she waited for 2 years, and she received an opportunity, which was very good. And fortunately, her company was ready to pay for the bond amount.
Oh.
Right? Yes. So there will be there would be situations like this as well. So what I would suggest to freshers is, uh, as a fresher, I understand we have to start our career, right? If you think that associating with that company, so there are many companies, right, which is worth working with.
Correct.
If you think that that is a company which has, you're going to learn a lot of things in terms of culture, in terms of environment, everything is good. It is just this bond that you are not comfortable with, then I can say yes, you can, you can start, you can take it up. But just remember, unless if you have another offer, you should take the other one, because then you would be bound, and then while leaving you have to give a very big lump sum amount, and that is kind of a little hurting in terms of your pocket.
Correct. And as
So,
you
yeah,
said, the growth is also something. This is not a
right.
multiplier of how much output basically you are giving, right? So
Correct.
true. I can very much relate to this. I think the things that we have discussed. You wanted to say something, Sanjana.
Right. One last point that I wanted to say was, especially for freshers, I think when we started our career, at least when I started my career, startups were kind of starting phase in especially in Bangalore, right? But now when we see, there are ample opportunities for freshers, right? So I would always say start with a company where you can grow, right? Do not look at the name of the company. Just look at the product, look at the work, look at the vision, company's vision, right? And then you take up. So maybe you might get 2 offers, right? One from an MNC and one from a startup or a mid-sized company, which is a very good role. Maybe that company is not known by our parents, our uncle, our aunt, but
Society.
that could be a society.
शर्मा जी का लड़का.
शर्मा जी के शर्मा अंकल को शायद पता ना हो, but it is good. It will be good for your career. So take that up and do not take that MNC. You can take that up once you complete certain years of experience, and trust me, they will reach out to you. You do not need to reach out to them. So they will reach out to you that we want to work with you, and there would be no bonds. It would be at your own terms. So yeah, I mean, you can actually make sure these things happen, but just you need to take decisions little, tactfully, and you have to think about it.
Sounds fair. I think we have got a lot of interesting things, and people who are watching this are going to benefit. Most of the time, people have fear, as you said, when they have 90 days notice period. So I think you have covered a lot of things, and those are very helpful. So thanks, Sanchari, once again for coming down and basically helping with
Thank
your
you so
vision
much.
and your experience from the corporate experience itself. And yeah, thanks a lot.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It was great, having me here. Thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, thank you so much.